Hello, we're back. It's been a bit.
Yeah.
A lot of shit happened.
Yeah. But now we are coming to you live from our apartment.
Hello.
Shit, man.
Would you like a look around? We have nothing.
Well, no. You have things. I have nothing.
I own everything here.
Basically, I'm going home in a few weekends to get that nonsense.
Essentially, think of that scene in Scott Pilgrim where it just shows who owns what in Scott and his gay friend's apartment. Wallace. That's his name.
Yeah.
Just Wallace, Scott. Wallace.
Yeah, I remember that.
But, yeah, so, as you might have seen from the title, not Batman Returns this time.
No, we just never got around to it. Whoops.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll still get to it eventually. But, because we were just moving and stuff, and we just, wanted something a little bit easier to digest, I remembered that she'd never seen Dragon Ball, or Dragon Ball Z, or Dragon Ball GT, but who cares, or Dragon Ball Super.
I have not seen any Dragon Ball. None whatsoever.
Yep. So, I'm fixing that now.
My only exposure to Dragon Ball outside of I'm like, oh, I have friends that like that, and ignoring it.
Is some Vidogams.
Yeah, so I was watching Scott before we moved into the apartment play the new Dragon Ball game.
Dragon Ball Z Kakarot.
Yes.
Good game.
It looked really fun.
Little tedious, but it is a Japanese game.
Yeah. But I was watching it, I'm like, this looks fun, and I was kind of getting into the story, and I'm like, you know what, I think I might like this Dragon Ball thing.
Yeah, it's one of those games where, while you're playing, just, have a podcast on it or something, maybe ours? And,
Dragon Ball while you Dragon Ball.
Yeah, I heard you like Dragon Ball. So, we watched the first arc of Dragon Ball. Not Z. We're not doing what most American kids did and skipping to Z. No, we're actually starting at OG Dragon Ball.
Which I think is kind of neat because most like you said, most American kids started with Z, but now you're just giving me the nope. You're starting where it should actually start.
Yeah, and that's because they didn't bring over Dragon Ball until after Z, which is really really weird. They pulled a Star Wars.
Oh.
Bringing out the stuff further in the timeline first. But, and since I know that Dragon Ball arcs are not as easy to pin down where they start and end as Z arcs, from what I've seen at least, there might be official, here's the arc 1, arc 2, arc 3, but I've never actually heard anything about that. It's just all Dragon Ball, and then you've got Z, the Saiyan arc, Z, the Frieza arc, Z, the Cell arc, all that stuff. But for this, we're counting arc 1 as episode 1 up to the stuff in Pilaf's castle. All of that. So once the dragon is gone and, they go their separate ways and Goku's on his way to go train with Roshi, that's where we cut off. And as you might notice, we're not talking as if we haven't seen anything yet. Because I think we both got to realize something. Mm-hmm. The before and after effect that we'd been doing is kind of neat in theory, but it kind of drags things out.
Yeah, little awkward pause between there. So we're just going to try something different, and I think this will work out a lot better.
Yeah, so instead, we just had Kat, in her notes that she takes when she watches stuff, we just wrote out what she knew firsthand and went from there. So, Kat, what did you think beforehand?
All right, so for everything that I really kind of knew about Dragon Ball in general, which was funny at what you said after I told you these, you're like, wow, this sounds more like Z.
Yeah, pretty much everything was Z.
So this is what I wrote specifically. Goku is OP and he needs to be nerfed. I know that Dragon Balls grant wishes. Vegeta's a jerk, but we all love him anyway. Goku's an alien boy, ? Roshi's a perv. People die, but it's hardly an inconvenience. Mostly Goku. And feminism is dead. That's what I wrote.
I mean, I think Goku only dies twice. But, like...
Only.
There are characters who have died way more.
Okay.
But, like... And like, some of that, yes, pertains to the OG Dragon Ball, but her stuff about it clearly is coming from just cultural osmosis of stuff from Z.
Well, and because I didn't even know that until Scott enlightened me, I didn't even know that there was a Dragon Ball series from when Goku was a kid.
Yeah.
I had zero awareness that was even a thing.
Yo, same when I was a kid. Like, literally, because, again, you know, when they aired Z, they hadn't aired Dragon Ball yet when I watched it. When they finally did start airing it, and I was one of those kids who I almost never actually paid attention to when stuff was on. I just caught stuff when it was on. So I saw, like, one episode of Dragon Ball, saw Kid Goku, and assumed it was Goten. Like, I assumed it was Goten. And also, for some reason, I thought Goten was Gohan's kid. I don't know why I thought that. But, like, I guess just because of, like, you know, Gohan looked like an adult by this point in my mind, and Goten is a kid, and just that age difference, I was like, oh, so Gohan is Goku's kid, clearly Goten is Gohan's kid. So when Kid Goku, who I thought was Goten, was talking about his grandpa, I thought he was talking about Goku. And so when who I thought was Goten, said, "It's not a joke, Bulma. My grandpa died to one of those giant monsters." I'm like, oh shit, then that must be a serious threat if it can kill Goku. like, I very quickly realized, oh no, I was wrong. But, especially because I think even as a kid, I was like, it's weird that Bulma and Yamcha, like, aren't at all old at looking. Like, then again, when it comes to Toriyama, he doesn't, like most anime artists, you're just like, you're a kid, then you're an adult basically from 14 to 30, and then you're just ancient.
I mean, okay, I guess, but like, I mean, yeah, you had Goku was obviously a kid, and you can tell Bulma and Yamcha, at least in my opinion, they at least felt like teenagers. Maybe it's just because not just from how they looked to me, but maybe just how they spoke and how they interacted with them.
Yeah, but you'll see as it goes on. There's some weirdness with how people are depicted, and it's just because of art style. But like a huge show of that weirdness when it comes to anime, like, and they're just cultural depiction of what age looks like. Mm-hmm. My Hero, little tiny Deku, and his mom looks normal.
Yeah.
And then teen Deku, his mom is like shrunk, way wider, like has crow's feet, and it's just like, well, clearly she hit 40.
Yikes.
Because for some reason, like, here in America, we have this thing where it's like, oh man, I'm 25. I feel so old.
We're literally doing that in the store today.
Yeah, but like, Japan, they're like, at least from what I've seen from an outsider looking in, you know, so fucking grain of salt, asterisk. But like, they seem to have that a lot worse. Like, they still have the thing of, like, you know, dear, if you don't get married before you're 30, you're gonna die alone. Yeah. Nobody wants an old maid. It's like, oof.
Yeesh.
Big oof. Like, even, like, Agretzko Season 2, doesn't it have something where they're trying to give her an arranged marriage?
Yes.
Because she's coming up to 30?
Yeah, that's a focal point of that season.
Yeah, which is... just date Haida. He clearly is interested.
Oh, good old Gretzko.
And I haven't seen season 2 yet. I've been meaning to, but we've been doing other stuff. But I know from like the old shorts, Haida has a similar thing to Agretzko, where he also does a thing like she does karaoke. Mm-hmm. They're very similar. Like, it is very much like if they got together, they would work. And I'm not even a shipper. I'm just like, I know some things like if you saw the Christmas special, the outfit he's in when not at work, that kind of hints at it. But I forget if it's a guitar or a bass. I think it's a bass. I think he's a bassist. But like he's a punk bassist.
My heart. Because I actually never saw the Christmas special.
Okay. But like, yeah, I think if I remember correctly, he's either a punk bassist or guitarist, and she's a metal singer. So like,
please. But yeah, kind of rolling back to like the original point was with just the age.
Yeah.
How ages. Especially as we start hitting more anime, like I'm gonna probably have to keep an eye out for that because that's interesting.
Yeah, because like Bulma is 14 at the start of this, and I think Goku is 11. They shouldn't look that much different.
Yeah,
like Bulma is 2 heads taller than Goku.
The only thing that I can see why that works out is Goku hasn't hit his growth spurt yet.
Which is possible.
Because if Bulma's 14, then yeah, I can see like in my own experience, I've been the same height since I was 12. I hit my growth spurt very early, so that's probably why.
And that might be possible. And it's also possible that like, oh, because he's a Saiyan, he grows at a different point of his development.
Oh yeah.
Because at least in GT, I don't know if they ever cover this in Super, but GT, which is no longer canon, so asterisk grain of salt, it states that Saiyans age slower. And maybe that's a part of it, but that's giving Toriyama a lot of credit for someone who forgot Launch exists. You haven't even met Launch, so don't worry about that.
Yeah.
But forgets characters exist, forgets transformations exist, like forgets a ton of shit. So like, even the fact that there are some things in the dub where they're like, where is this kid from? Because it's clearly not Earth. And like, Kat was telling me like, oh man, so like the author knew that Goku was going to be an alien even back then. And I'm like, I would more believe that was something that the dub added.
Really?
Yeah. Like I am sure that in the Japanese, it probably just says something of like, where is this kid from? Or something like this. Or like, this kid's weird. This kid's far out. It's like, what, is he some kind of alien or something? Oh, because he was already out. So everybody knew. Like, to the point where I think in Kai, it doesn't let the person who is supposed to drop that bombshell drop the bombshell. Because, like, I think the very first line of Kai is, Goku, an alien baby. It's like, oh, well, okay. But yeah, so the first episode, if I may quote Dragon Ball Z Abridged, it starts as all good stories start, with a girl hitting a boy with her car.
Yeah, so... Because, you got Goku, the forest boy that's never even met a girl.
No.
Good
has
God.
only ever seen one other human.
Yeah.
In his grandpa, who died. So he's been out here alone. And something that, like, kind of, I never thought about before, because, like, that little shack that Goku's living in, I always just kind of assumed that was his in Gohan's house. Like, Grandpa Gohan. But in Pilaf's castle, when they're trapped and he mentions the Great Ape, he says, it killed my grandpa and destroyed our house.
Oh.
So that makes me think, because like in every piece of media, they always say that that's Gohan's house. Like, that's Grandpa Gohan's house. But was it not? Like, was that only part of their house and that's just what survived? Was it like a shed that Goku had to move into because the rest was destroyed?
Never explained?
I don't think it is.
Oof.
Maybe in a Tonkaban or something, like, some side material or something like that. But if it is, I've never heard of it, especially because usually that stuff doesn't come out in America. So you have to, like, rely on translations or some shit.
Yeah.
Which is bullshit.
But, then we get...
we didn't even get the Dragon Ball MMO.
There was a Dragon Ball
There was a
MMO?
Dragon Ball MMO.
Yo, what?
And, like, the Xenoverse games borrowed from it. The card game that's out right now borrows heavily from it. Super borrows elements from it. Like, Toriyama worked on it a lot. Oh. Like, all of the, like, anything that, like, if you ever heard, like, oh yeah, Trunks eventually becomes part of the Time Force, that's from Dragon Ball Online. And, like, and they actually had a really cool thing where your level pretty much represented your age. So you started out as a kid, and as you grew in levels, your character grew up.
Ooh.
And I've never seen anything else do that. The only thing I've ever seen even have the idea to do that was the original idea for Wind Waker, where by the time you got the Master Sword, Link was supposed to be a teen. Like, he was supposed to be Ocarina age. And he would be, like, growing over the course. Which, honestly, when they did the remake, they should have just added that. Like, that would have been so cool. It would have been too different. Some people probably would have bitched, but I think it would have been badass. I still want them to eventually come back to that idea.
Yeah, I think maybe in another Zelda game. I have too much nostalgia for Wind Waker for me to feel comfortable with that. I don't know. I'd probably be one of those people. But any hoozles. So we got bomb ass Bulma coming in with her cool technology to find them Dragon Balls.
Yeah.
And let me just say, like, the minute I saw Bulma with her fashion and her totally radicals, I'm thinking, like, yo, this is totally 80s.
Yeah, literally after the first episode, she was like, when was this made? And I was like, the 80s. And she's like, nah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Bulma's great fashion sense.
Yeah. Of everything having her name on it. But yeah, so she fucking makes Goku sail through the air because she hits him with her car. And then, like, gets up. He attacks the car thinking it's a monster. So Bulma rationally shoots a child in the face. Like, if Goku hadn't been Goku, she would have just murdered a child. Mm-hmm. A very strong child, but a child.
Again, it would have been dark if we're ignoring the fact that this is a goofy, borderline gag kind of show.
and because it did start off basically as a gag adventure comic. Because, like, it's set in the same universe. I don't know if it was originally meant to be set in the same universe, but it definitely is at this point, like, when we're recording this. It's set in the same world as his other series, Arale, which is even fucking dumber. Like, I think at one point she punches just the ground and it basically does that thing from Kirby where it's just it breaks the planet. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, whatever. But yeah.
Yeah. So just, and I'm just thinking about this in general. Were the Dino pills in the first episode? In the first couple?
The Dino Caps, yeah.
Yeah. So,
which eventually they just drop the name Dino Caps and they just call them capsules.
Oh, okay. That's so much nicer.
Because eventually they say that the place who makes them is Capsule Corp. Mm-hmm. And they just pretty much drop the Dino Caps thing. I don't know if dinosaurs were supposed to be like a bigger part of the world or something.
Yeah, because I remember seeing what was it? A freaking dinosaur in the first few episodes, and I'm like, what?
well, little known fact: The Good Dinosaur by Pixar is actually a very, 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 very long set prequel to Dragon Ball.
It's so funny because you said that with such a serious voice, but I saw your eyes and you just knew that you were bullshitting that so hard.
But like that would be the only way that makes sense, is if it's a similar setup to The Good Dinosaur where the meteor just fucking missed. Yeah.
But I thought, like, the dino caps were super. It's weird because, like, the world.
It's basically Pokeballs for everything.
Yeah. But the whole world in general, you know, Bulma's inventions, you got the dino caps, there's cars and stuff, there's cities that we haven't really seen yet, but it's implied that there's cities around. Yeah. Like, the world seems very technologically advanced.
And yet there's still
so much adventure wilderness.
Yes, it's so cool. Yeah, it's a very interesting setting because there's a ton of tech in certain areas, and then in other areas it is just completely, like, wilderness.
In the wilderness itself is just
like,
very,
nature.
very varied. Like there were like mushroom. What was that one area I was thinking of? Like,
Yeah, like it's like a deserty mushroom forest.
Yeah,
where
like,
Pilaf is.
Yeah, like that was really interesting. Like the scenery is really interesting.
Yeah, and the hills have a very distinct, like the hill mountains in the background have a very distinct shape because like they're based on like Chinese inkwell art and stuff like that. And that goes back to what Dragon Ball is a adaptation, retelling, reimagining, parody, spoof of, which is Journey to the West, which is this like ancient book, which is all about like all an allegory for achieving enlightenment. All of the characters are like analogous for like a part of the human body that is essential in being enlightened. Like I forget what the monk's name is, but he's the mind, and then the Monkey King is the heart. And this book also is one of the things that inspired the 5-man band trope.
Okay.
Which is like, the hero, the lancer, the big guy,
the heart.
Yeah, the heart. But in this one, the heart is the lancer. Like the lancer is also the heart, because the Monkey King he's not the main character, but he's basically the main character. Like the book starts just talking about the Monkey King, later known as Sun Wukong, which then got in Japan when they brought that over, some translations called Son Goku.
Okay.
To the point where, again, pulling from Dragon Ball Z Abridged, when Trunks first meets Goku, he's like all starstruck. And he's like, all right, it's just Goku. My mom's told me about Goku. He's just a normal guy. Just introduce yourself. So you're Son Wukong, yes? Damn it! I'm Son Goku, yes.
Now now that I'm thinking about it again, back to the technology, because so recently my siblings have been rewatching Yu-Gi-Oh, the 4Kids dub, where when there's a gun,
it's time to
when there's supposed to be a gun, it's a finger gun, right? So when I saw Bulma bring out a gun, I'm like, what?
Because this isn't 4Kids.
Yeah, like I was wondering like how, like, because I know you said Dragon Ball came later.
Yeah.
And like, have there been different translations?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there have been different translations. 4Kids actually did start a Dragon Ball dub. Mm-hmm. It's very different.
Oh.
They pulled stuff like this is pulling from a different thing because it's been a long time since I've seen the 4Kids iteration of Dragon Ball, but it didn't last.
Oh, good.
But like One Piece, there's a scene right in the first episode where there's this like whiny little shit kid who Luffy is talking to, and like Luffy is essentially like, oh, there's a bad guy here? No, I'll just go beat him up. And the whiny kid's like, you can't do that, and I should kill you. Just bah! Smacks him right on the head. And it's just like, I hate cowards like you. And in 4Kids, he just like adjusts his arm as if he's gonna hit, and the kid reacts like, "Ah, don't hit me!" And Luffy goes, "I wasn't gonna hit you."
Oh.
I wouldn't do that.
Oh, no.
Yes, you would, Luffy. Now fucking hit that kid in the skull.
But yeah, so like it was a little like, whoa, neat kind of thing, because it was just something that I got used to from older, like watching stuff from when I was like, Pokemon and stuff.
And they still do that shit in Yu-Gi-Oh! Just crazy, weird, unnecessary edits. Like they've even done edits sometimes where like the original art was actually less weird than the international one that was censored. Like there's an evil possessed pumpkin, where in the Japanese one he's actually kind of cute, and in the American one he's fucking terrifying.
Just censored edits are just weird. Like I'll never ever forget about Fire Emblem Awakening's like beach DLC, where Tharja was wearing like a bikini or whatnot, and then the English a censored one put like some sort of towel over it, which made it look even more suggestive.
Yeah.
I'm like, ooh, come on, guys.
Yeah, at that point, like, just have the game rated higher. Like, honestly, you don't need to censor this stuff, because Japan has kid-friendly games too. Mm-hmm. And also, you know, hey, censors in America, if you ever hear this, quit being bitches. This is the reason why France's Haunted Mansion is actually kind of eerie and ours isn't. Because y'all bitches. And you're so worried that some Karen housewife is going to be like, my little son Billy was scared. I'm going to sue. I don't know why this Karen sounds like Mickey, but but stop it. Just make a law where somebody can't sue for stupid shit.
Yeah.
It's like if it's something that you bought because you didn't pay attention, or your kid did something stupid because they're stupid and you weren't paying attention, that's your own goddamn fault. Don't bother us. Like, just do that.
Yeah, so we get through the episode 1 stuff. Mm-hmm. And then eventually we get introduced to this arc's baddies, aka Team Rocket, as I keep calling them.
Yeah, I never thought about it before, but they are very Team Rocket-y.
It's so incompetent.
But they're missing a James.
They are.
And that's a huge hit.
Yeah, so, you know, we got it's like, oh, great, we got them. They got a Dragon Ball 2, so I guess we kind of have to keep an eye on them, and we're not going to really show them for a few episodes. And, oh, here they are again.
And then Goku hits them, and they go, ah!
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I think the main thing that then happens is eventually Bulma sets up a house. Goku freaks the fuck out because, like, this house appeared out of nowhere. Which?
Yeah.
And eventually Bulma finds out that the tail that Goku has is not just attached to his pants. It's not just some childish accessory. It's actually real.
Yeah.
And she's just like, what the fuck? And he's just like, why don't you have one?
Yeah, he's like, do girls not have tails?
Yeah. And also he discovers the shocking truth that Bulma's balls are missing.
Oh, yeah. I'm letting you know right now, this is the only arc I'm forgiving Goku constantly touching the no-no squares. This is the only time I will give him a pass for it.
Look, he's learning. He's
learning.
got to figure it out. All right? Like, people are like, oh, you're a very nice young lady. I'm not sure about that. Now I know for myself. You know, like, all right, we're good. I know now. You know, he's just one of those people where you like, he can hear something, sure, but he needs to know the information firsthand. He'd be a good researcher. You know, if he ever had a son, they'd make a good scholar.
We continue on, and honestly, the next couple episodes were just a wee bit more, what's the word I'm looking for?
Episodic?
They're episodic, but, like, my memories are kind of, like, almost very hazy and juggled because we made the mistake of watching about the first half of this after work because...
So, okay. So I'm sure most people, if they start getting tired, they're like, oh, I'm kind of tired. But if I'm doing something, I can just not pass out. I can just fight the tired. Kat is more like a puppy who doesn't know how anything works.
What? Excuse me?
And is just like, I'm tired. Thud.
It just comes out of nowhere, man.
Yeah, and then thud.
Yeah, so, yeah, we had to reschedule times we watched that, so yay. But then everything else was a lot more clear from then on out. But did I miss much? Because, like you said, it was kind of episodic.
Well, they met Turtle.
Oh, yeah, Turtle and Roshi. And...
Yeah, they met Turtle. Turtle led them to Roshi.
Goku got Nimbus.
Yeah, Goku got Nimbus. Bulma got a Dragon Ball. Mm-hmm. Roshi got a peek at a vagina.
I do remember that.
An underage vagina.
Oh, yeah.
Well, actually, she's 14. She's legal in Japan.
Anywho's.
Well, nah. Not legal with Roshi, but legal with people her own age. Japan's legal age setting is more complicated than ours. It's like a layered thing from what I know. Again, asterisk, grain salt.
And at some point, Oolong is in these episodes, which I also forgot.
Yeah, Oolong is like a little bad guy terrorizing a town. He's a little shithead.
He's a monster of the week that joins the party.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
just becomes like a little shithead. And then there's Puar and Yamcha. Mm-hmm. Yamcha gets a win on Goku because Goku hungry. Can't fight at his full strength. Mm-hmm.
And I like how...
And okay.
I like what I wrote about Yamcha. It's like, we get introduced to Yamcha, who at first glance seems to be a common highwayman, but is actually a big old dork that can't even look at a pretty girl his age without freaking out.
Yeah, I agree. He is the best character. But, and then the constant mystery that is Puar. Mm-hmm. Is Puar a dude? Is Puar a girl?
I'm sure I heard both pronouns throughout watching that.
Yeah, it's weird. Because I'm pretty sure at this point, like with their dub now, they're on the same page as Japan. Puar's a dude. But in this, because they've never redubbed Dragon Ball proper, because who would buy it? Like, everybody just has a boner for Z. Which honestly, it kind of bums me out that Dragon Ball Z Kakarot has nothing from Dragon Ball in it. It has some locations, but you don't start as Kid Goku, and that would have been so fun. That would have been so fun.
I was at least side quest. Are there any references to OG with
side
quests?
There's like a little bit.
Okay.
Like you run into Ader and stuff like that, but
yeah.
But like the whole time they're referring to Puar as a girl.
Yeah.
They're referring to Puar as a girl.
And I would have assumed girl because of the voice.
Assumed girl because of the voice. Like, again, I don't know if it's just me, but when there's two characters who are either similar, like very similar to each other, and opposites of each other, like they have similar power sets but are very opposite of each other, or are just opposites of each other, and neither gender is specified or only one gender is specified, I always kind of assume that the other one is the opposite gender.
Yeah.
Like, that was the case when I was a very little kid. I thought Tails from Sonic was a girl.
Yeah, we were talking about this earlier today, and you were talking about how you thought Pikachu was a girl.
I thought Ash's Pikachu was a girl because Pikachu constantly got along with Misty better than any of the others.
Yeah.
Like, constantly got along with Misty. Ash had to earn Pikachu's trust. Didn't just be like, pull a bro move and be like, yeah, sure, I got you, bro. And it would have made the team equal. It would have, because Ash and Brock, dude. Mm-hmm. Pikachu and Misty, girls.
But I guess with
and the opposites thing, Meowth, evil, boy. Pikachu, good, girl. Like that.
But I think in the
cat mouse.
But I think in the case of Yamcha and Puar, like it kind of makes sense that Puar is a dude, because I mean, you would think if she, if Puar was a girl, she'd be able to help Yamcha out with his fear a little bit better.
Well, except for the fact that
perspective of a girl.
Except for the fact that it does state that he only fucks up like that with girls his own age.
Yeah, but at least if you have a girl bro trying to help you, like at least talk.
Puar isn't his age.
Okay, yeah, I guess. Yeah, you're right.
Puar and Oolong are technically younger than Goku. Which makes the shit about Oolong having the wives really weird.
You just blew my fucking mind. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, because they're animals.
Jesus Christ.
They're animal people. They have shorter lifespans.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And yet, Puar is a college graduate.
Oh, yeah.
Because shapeshifting school. And Oolong is a dropout. which is why he can only hold this form for 5 minutes.
Oof.
He's only a 5-minute man. No wonder those wives constantly fuck him up.
Oh my god! But yeah, we get more episodic. Group is keep searching for them Dragon Balls. Yamcha
get them Dragon Balls.
Yamcha falls in the background, not really doing much of anything except commentate.
He's trailing.
He's trailing.
He's trailing for the Dragon Balls.
Yeah. And I'm just like, come on, Yamcha.
Because he's actually doing something kind of clever where he's like, fucking let them collect him and then we'll just swoop and steal the wish.
Yeah.
Like that makes sense. It's a good plan.
Yeah. It's definitely very thiefish.
Yeah. And then we've got fucking Master Carrot.
That was so... I remember seeing...
That episode is filler.
Yeah, it was a filler episode, but like I remember...
Goku sends him to the moon.
That was so ridiculous. Again, it would be more horrifying if this wasn't basically gag.
Yeah, especially because later on they make a huge deal of like, there's an enemy that Goku has to fight who can breathe in the vacuum of space and Goku can't. Like, what? And yet, I'm like, so were you just holding your breath when you put Master Carrot on the moon?
Because because Bulma was walking around with those ears.
Also, how fucking long can the power pole extend? It went to the moon.
I remember what that episode specifically, because Bulma's walking around with the ears, and the townspeople are all terrified, and then, the gang's actually coming out, and the boss is coming out, and I would just remember, like, if a fucking rapid comes out of there, and there it is! I'm like, oh my god.
You touched me!
God, it was...
Carrot.
It was so weird, but so good.
Though the way that they trick him by Puar turning into him, and thus he thinks that Puar also has that power.
Yeah.
Come on, touch me, one little touch.
I remember that, and it seems so silly and stupid, but I'm like, you know what? It's a good thing it worked.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, would you risk it?
No.
No, anything but that.
And my favorite part from that episode was, the baddie, the Whis were going up to Bulma, and they're like, you want to hang out with a real man? And she's just like, where? What? I don't see any.
It's like, why? You know where some are?
and her asking Goku for help while he's just casually eating a burger, and he's like,
okay.
Yeah.
That is quintessential Goku. It's like, I haven't seen Goku in 5 minutes. Oh, there he is, stuffing his face.
He's just in the corner, stuffing his face and waiting for shit to actually hit the fan to jump in.
Yeah. But yeah, so the next major plot beat, well, they fight Yamcha. Mm-hmm. Yamcha wins it first. There's that whole snafu with the camper. And then I think, like,
eventually the Team Rocket trio reappears.
Yeah, that is the next major plot point, isn't it?
Yeah, because
they get to, because there is a few episodes dealing with Pilaf. Mm-hmm. So they are like, oh, the last Dragon Ball is in this area, and that happens to be the one that Pilaf has. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, Mai, Shu, and Pilaf, the Team Rocket trio, have also made a sort of Dragon Radar, but it just leads to theirs. Like,
yeah, that was pretty funny. So incompetent.
Yeah, and so like they end up finding the other ones, and they steal them, meaning Goku has to chase after them and all this stuff. And they end up in Pilaf's castle. There's a huge maze. At one point, they're stuck in a giant pinball machine.
That was really freaky.
Ding, 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 ding.
It kind of almost reminded me of like a Sonic level.
Sonic spinball.
Yeah.
Which apparently controlled like crap.
Oh yeah.
I never played it.
I had it on my computer at one point when I was a kid. It was bad.
See, the pinball game I had on my computer was like the Space Cadet one, and that one's pretty good.
I had that one too, I remember. Yeah, that was fun.
Like, that was still pretty good. Pretty good game.
And like, with that whole thing, like, I remember when, the villains were getting that last the Dragon Balls from the crew. Like, they were trying to just torture that, like, Bulma. What was it? It was Bulma,
yeah, they were
right?
They were going to torture Bulma for the location of the Dragon Ball. And they were hyping it up like, oh, no, sir, please, not that. Oh, it's too cruel. And Pilaf just blows a kiss at her.
Yeah. And then, they throw her back in the cell and just use sleeping gas. And it's like, why didn't you start with that, you dummies?
Because gag comic.
That's true, yeah.
And also, why sleeping gas? Why not just, like, fucking monoxide or something? Just kill him. I mean, Goku probably would have somehow been fine, but, like, the others would have died.
Yeah, definitely. And, the villains continue to be dumb after the sleeping gas thing. They just leave the exit open.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So dumb.
And they're like, wait, Who was the last one in there? I think it was you, Mai. Oh, shit!
Oh, God.
But, yeah, so then eventually they do the whole pinball thing, end up getting trapped in the same room, eventually breaking out. Oolong and Puar do, at least, because they're the only ones who can get small enough to. And Oolong steals the wish from Pilaf, wishing for panties.
Oh, my God.
Or, as in the English dub says, the world's most comfortable pair of ultra-soft underwear! It just happens to be panties. It's not specifically Bulma's panties. What are you talking about?
Oh, my God.
It's Bulma's.
Oh.
At least, I'm pretty sure in the original, it's Bulma's panties that he wishes for.
Oh.
He just wishes for a pair of Bulma's panties.
Incredible.
Yeah. So, and the funny thing is, originally Dragon Ball was only supposed to have that one arc. That would have been the only wish ever seen.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Because the gag comic thing. But it was getting popular.
Oh, that's right. You told me that. Like,
Yeah, it was getting
people
popular,
wanted
so they
more.
decided to continue it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, something we did forget.
What?
Chi-Chi.
Oh, Chi-Chi and the Ox King. That's right.
Yeah, the
Their
whole thing with
thing.
Fire Mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
And Roshi showed how much of a badass he could be,
yeah,
too.
and that's where Goku learned the Kamehameha.
Yeah.
Which is named after a lineage of Hawaiian kings. Because it roughly translates to turtle wave.
Like, and I think about this. Okay, so, you know, you got Goku. The only person he's ever really interacted with was his grandfather.
Mm.
And, you know, he's just going about the world afterwards, but doing his business. And I'm assuming Chi-Chi is kind of similar.
Chi-Chi is the daughter of the Ox King.
Yeah, but did she only ever see the Ox King? Or
No.
She saw other people?
Because the Ox King.
Okay, I don't really remember seeing other people around there, so that's what I was thinking.
Well, a lot of them were dead because of the fire, but it's assumed that she's seen other people.
Okay.
And like also Yamcha's the one who fucking finds her, and she accidentally kills a dinosaur, gets grossed out because it's now a headless dinosaur corpse, blasts it with her helmet, it disintegrates. And then, like, it's like, oh, my dad told me to never talk to strangers. Starts firing the beam there. Yamcha dodges it and just, bah! Fucking knocks her ass out.
And just runs forward and then is terrified that
when he finds out that it was the daughter of the Ox King.
Yeah.
Has to bluff that he's madly in love with her. Oh. Shit like that. And then, like, so she's all hopped up on, like, oh, a boy loves me. And so he runs away. Goku shows up and is like, hey, are you Chi-Chi? The Ox King told me to come get you so we could go get Master Roshi because, you know, you're incompetent. Because you barely made it outside of your area. And it's been like a day at least. But like, so it's like, oh, do you love me too? And it's like, you like me? It's like, I mean, I guess. I don't know. Well, sure, you seem nice. Like, it's like, oh, does that mean you want to marry me too? What is that, food? Sure. Yeah, sure. We'll get married. Whatever. Sounds good. Like, rubs tummy.
Goku.
Yeah, and so they go to Master Roshi, and Master Roshi gets hit with Chi-Chi's helmet axe. Tries to block it with his cane, or like his stick. Goes right through the stick and bams him in the head. Ah! And it's like, you're not the real Master Roshi. No one could dodge that. Are you crazy? No one could dodge that. Meanwhile, me with hindsight is like, pretty sure you could have, Master Roshi, actually. There's some shit you do later. I don't know. Maybe training Goku also makes you more badass. Maybe you're just, you know, out of training right now.
Yeah, just kind of a little rusty.
Yeah, a little rusty. But, like, you know, and so him and Chi-Chi, which Chi-Chi has a pure heart, can be on the Nimbus.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah. Which I'm pretty sure the reason Goku has a pure heart is, again, because Sun Wukong was the heart of the 5-man band.
Yeah.
He's the heart. But, like, so Goku's just this pure-hearted little dumbass.
He does.
Good at fight.
Yeah, he is a very pure boy.
Yeah. And honestly, the reason he's so OP is because Sun Wukong is OP by nature. He is literally a monkey made out of like primordial stone, who then goes to learn martial arts and like all of these mantras and stuff to make him like immortal 6 ways to Sunday. And like then ends up becoming like a part of the like royal court of heaven, eats a bunch of immortality pills because he got bored, eats some immortality fruit because he got bored. Like he's incredibly immortal, and incredibly strong. So that's it. That's his whole thing. He's like Sun Wukong is that kind of character where it's like, to paraphrase Overly Sarcastic Productions, they're cool. They're cool. Check them out on YouTube. But like, literally, there's these other monkeys in the Monkey King part where it's like, oh man, if some monkey was impulsive enough to go see what's behind that waterfall, we'd name him the Monkey King. And Sun Wukong just goes, did somebody say impulsive? He's that kind of character, and Goku's based on that.
Oh,
so,
yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
But like, so Chi-Chi's also somehow pure-hearted. Bullshit.
I'm just gonna say the way that she's thirsting over the boys she's seeing.
Yeah, no, bullshit. The way that Dragon Ball says pure-heartedness is dumb as fuck, as we'll see going forward.
Oh boy.
But I also love how when Bulma tries to ride the Nimbus, it just thud.
Yeah, and Roshi just lost his pure heart if he
Yeah.
ever had one in the first place.
Well, he must have, because somebody gave him the Nimbus.
Yeah.
So he was pure-hearted at some point. And then he just went back to lusting.
And again, I thought it was really cool seeing Roshi being a real doing something in this arc besides being
becoming a goddamn beefcake for a second there.
Yeah, I'm like, yo,
destroying the whole goddamn castle with the mountain. And then it's just like, yes, you could learn the Kamehameha wave, I'm sure of it, but it'd take you 50 years.
Yeah, Goku just does it so casually.
Yeah, and then he's disappointed. It's like, oh man, that wasn't nearly as big as Roshi's.
Oh, Goku. OP, please nerf.
But yeah, so back to Emperor Pilaf stuff. So eventually, after the wish, they, there's a fight and they transfer them to basically
an oven.
Yeah, an oven, like a sun oven. And it's like, oh, you'll fry, like in the morning comes.
And even though it's in one way, it seems like an incompetent villain thing to just like.
It's a pretty terrifying idea.
Yeah, like because again, until like when I worked in a bakery, we had like these big standing ovens that you could probably fit like 5 people in it if you so chose. It was a legitimate fear that I would get trapped in there. So the idea of being burned alive in something like that is horrifying.
Holocaust joke. Anyway.
Oh God, no.
No, I'm kidding. Gross. No. Awful.
Yeah,
awful.
Go wash your mouth out right now. But like during that whole thing where everybody's just waiting for their horrifying death.
Yeah, Deus Ex Munica shows up.
Yeah, basically, and Goku's just so casually talking about how his grandpa died.
It's just like, oh, it's like, oh, there's a full moon. Well, Por brings it up. Mm-hmm. It's like, I'm looking at the full moon and all this stuff, and they're all looking at the full moon. And it's like, wow, I can't believe you guys are looking at it. And, they're like, what do you mean, Goku? It's like, oh, my grandpa always told me never to look at the full moon because a monster comes out then. Ooh. And we were never, like, we were always in by then. And they were like, oh, Goku, that's a silly superstition, obviously. And it's like, it's not a superstition, Bulma. My grandpa was crushed by one of those monsters. And destroyed our house, too. And then immediately, it's like, wait a minute. It's like, yeah, and that's why my grandpa always told me to never look at the full moon. And they pretty quickly put 2 and 2 together. It's like, wait, if Gohan was crushed to death by a thing that comes out in the full moon, and was specifically telling Goku not to look at the full moon. Oh, shit. Hey, Goku. Mm-hmm. Did you ever look at the full moon? Well, I think I might have glanced at it the night my grandpa died, but why do you ask?
Oh, Goku.
And it's like, no reason. Just, make sure not to look at the full moon that's right above you. Wait, where?
Yeah. And so Goku transforms into
a mighty Ozaru!
a werewolf monkey thing.
Yeah. Were-monkey.
Were-monkey.
He turns into the Great Ape and
fuck shit up.
Fucks a bunch of shit up.
I mean, that's one way to escape that.
Yeah, and they end up having to cut off his tail.
Yeah, so question, again, it will probably be addressed in the future arc, but does that tail ever come back?
Yeah, I'll never tell. I'll never tail.
Alright then.
Yeah, I'll never tail.
Because if the tail's gone, then, like, can Goku still transform?
No, because if the tail is gone,
That's like
remember when it cut off, he immediately transformed back.
Oh, that's true, yeah, okay.
Into a tiny naked boy.
Yeah, because, clothes are going.
Yeah, I mean, it's always in an area that makes sense, but there is a lot of nudity in this show when it comes to Goku.
Yeah.
And they have no qualms about just showing junk.
The Goku's little wee-wee.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, real
It's a little weird.
Yeah.
To the point where even, like, in the games later on, they would always have him, like, just in boxers still.
That's...
I think in the 4Kids dub, they changed it to boxers, too.
Okay.
Yeah. Funimation might have done in the, on the TV release. Not sure. But, yeah, they,
Yeah, the group gets... the group escapes, Goku destroys some stuff, goes back.
Yeah, finds out he doesn't have a tail.
His grandpa's Dragon Ball.
He needs to go find it when they come back to being active in a year. Mm-hmm. And there's a funny thing where his balance is all fucked up because he's not used to not having a tail. It's like, I wonder if my power pole is still in the rubble.
Oh yeah, poor Goku's gonna have to get used to that.
So they're like, all right, let's meet up in a year, whatever.
And everybody
and Yamcha and Bulma are fucking now.
Yeah, they're an item. Oolong fucks off somewhere. Goku goes to train, and everybody's happy.
Yeah.
Yay.
I don't know. Maybe Oolong and poor fuck. Who knows? I don't know. I'll have to check the internet, see if that's happened.
Well, I'm sure it's happened in fan fiction.
And you know what they say? Fan fiction is canon.
No.
No?
No.
No?
No, maybe in head canon, but not canon.
Oh. So you're saying all that stuff I've read about, like, Ash and Misty or Ash and May and Ash and Dawn wasn't legit supplementary material?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
I feel lied to.
All right, so you told me at one point to take note of who my favorite character was.
Yeah, and why is it Yamcha?
It is Yamcha.
Yeah, of course it's Yamcha.
He had some great character development for such a short, 12 episodes. I liked it.
Yeah.
He wasn't even there the whole time. It was great. Like when he was actually sitting next to Bulma without jumping into the sky. I'm like, yo, character development. Mm-hmm. I love this.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason why his character is the only one who had a fucking fan-made doujin that centers all around him. Mm-hmm. And Toriyama read it and publicly said, that was really good.
Aw, that's sweet.
Yeah. That time I reincarnated as Yamcha. Check it out.
But yeah, he had really cool moments, and I liked the main crew overall.
That, and he's got the coolest sounding attack name. Wolfang Fist!
Yeah. And I'm
I'll hit him with my Wolfang Fist.
So I'm just I'm wondering if Yamcha sticks around, so...
I'll Wolfang Fist him!
And, as far as...
Fist him with a Wolfang.
God. As far as the rest of the cast goes, of course, Goku is your good main character.
Yeah.
A little more interesting with the powers, and, he's still got a lot of growing to do. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure how much he'll change, but we'll see. Bulma's a little bit of a bitch, but I kind
a little bit of a bitch, but she has some complexity.
Yeah, I'm really excited, especially because I do know that Bulma's around for the long haul. I'm really interested to see how she develops as the series goes on.
Because it's interesting. Like, at first glance, she does appear like a bitch, but also it's, like, not really, like, the same way that, like, a fully adult character would get listed as a bitch. Because she's 14. She's just a very conceited fucking
kind of
rich girl.
Yeah.
She's just like, clearly, I'm the most important one here.
She's, and like a lot of 14-year-old girls, like, all she really wants, which at first I'm like, girl,
is a dick.
I'm like, girl, you can do better than wishing for a boyfriend, but then again, I guess I could,
Well, even worse than that.
I'm outside the exception. I didn't want any boyfriend when I was 14, but I guess a lot of girls do, so I guess it makes sense.
Even worse than that, apparently, from what I've heard, that wasn't her original wish.
What was her original wish? What?
Like, at one point in the past, it is stated that before she decided to use the Dragon Balls to get a boyfriend, she wanted a lifetime supply of strawberries.
You know what? That's not a bad wish either. In the way
which, funny enough, as we will come to see, Bulma is part of the richest family in the world.
So she could get strawberries.
She could get as many fucking strawberries as she wants. And I don't understand why she's having an issue finding a boyfriend.
Yeah,
you would think that there would be gold-digging suitors out the door.
Yeah, I was gonna. It's like money can buy you a boyfriend or a girlfriend. I'm sure.
At least for the short time.
Yeah.
Until you actually want someone of value.
So maybe that's what she.
But if you're just wanting a dick, you can find a dick if you're rich.
Yeah, maybe that's what Bulma wants. She just wants a good.
She just wants a good dickin'. Oh, we said different things.
See, you see the contrast here, where I just am like, maybe she just wants like a good quality boy, and you're.
Except she doesn't. She has the 14-year-old equivalent of I want a dick, where like she's literally at one point they flip on a romance thing, and she's obsessing about the kiss. Just one little kiss, one kiss. Hearts in her eyes. No, she's fucking... No.
Yeah, really excited to see how Bulma develops throughout the series, because I do like her.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I talked about Yamcha and how cool he was and how he's the best.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got our sidekicks. Oolong, I still don't know how to feel about Oolong, because he was kind of
He's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
He's a piece of shit. That's what he's supposed to be. He's essentially a prototype of what would eventually become the archetype that leads to Mineta from My Hero. Great boy.
Oh.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. That's him. Yeah.
You know what?
Oolong's not as bad.
Oolong's not as bad, but I can't forgive him, because now we have Great Boy.
Yeah.
Now, I can't forgive Oolong now. I don't like him.
Well, he might not have been the first character, but he's on that path of progression. Because I'm pretty sure there was stuff made by the dude who made Astro Boy where there were characters like that. Mm-hmm. He's just a fucking perv. He's a perv.
Yeah.
There's multiple pervs in Dragon Ball, and he's one of them.
But at least Roshi seems to have some redeeming qualities.
Check back next season.
Speaking of Roshi, oh, oof. Except outside of his one badass moment.
Boom, boom!
Yeah.
Boom, boom! Boom, boom!
I totally understand the whole, like, when people refer to someone as being a Master Roshi. I get it now. Holy fucking shit. Oh, God.
You must have done something naughty, Master. Shut up, Turtle! Shut up, Turtle, and where the fuck did you bury my magazines? I need that swimsuit edition.
And again, we talked about this before, casually said, it was Roshi or the Turtle casually said something about drinking from the Fountain of Youth.
Yeah, Turtle.
Yeah, Turtle did. And, I wonder, and again, like you said, they never answered this question. How old is Roshi?
There's probably something somewhere, but I don't think it's stated in the show.
Yeah. Oof.
But yeah.
Other characters. And I know Chi-Chi was only around for like an episode, but I know she'll pop up again later.
Yeah.
So we'll again I want to see her before the what I saw in the Kakarot game.
Yeah.
Where I'm just like, ooh, feminism is dead.
No, what'll really make you say, oh, feminism is dead is when all the way towards the end of Z you meet Videl. Yeah. Who is... Fuck it, you won't remember. Who is Gohan's love interest when he becomes a teenager. And starts off literally as a city's vigilante. Mm-hmm. She is the city's hero. Mm-hmm. And then she fucks Gohan and is a housewife. Literally, they have this whole arc where she finds out that Gohan is like one of the mysterious like warriors who can change their hair color and like can fly and all this shit. Who like, you know, her dad, who is another like established character, named Satan,
What?
Mr. Satan, like thinks is all a bunch of tricks, like a bunch of frauds, but she literally learns how to do it. Gohan teaches her how to fly, how to use ki, all this stuff.
Yo, that's badass.
And then by the time Boo shows up, Videl is basically like, okay, I guess I'll be over here. Which sucks. Like, honestly, Videl, in my opinion, is the biggest missed opportunity of Dragon Ball. I loved Videl as a kid. There was this badass girl who could, like, hold her own against Gohan, who, as a child, was beating the shit out of people like Frieza and Cell and all this stuff. And here's this girl who, like, is the daughter of a joke character and is just a fucking badass. Like, literally, she's a high school student, but is on the payroll of the police.
Damn, we wish.
Yeah, she's on the payroll of the police, and literally just fucking anytime there's a bank robbery or something, she just fucking pulls out a capsule of a fucking helicopter that she can pilot and just fucking goes and kicks the people in the face.
Yeah.
She is such a badass. And immediately is on to Gohan shit. Immediately is like, huh, there was a blonde warrior that showed up that I'd never seen before. Wearing a school uniform. So, new kid, what's your name? Is intelligent, smart, like, you know, like, fucking strong as hell, confident, stubborn, and then it's just like, I have a baby now. And it's just like, God damn it. Like, and it drags Gohan down, too, unfortunately, because, like, then in Super, it's like, oh, yeah, I gave up training because I'm a family man now. And I'm like, why aren't both of you training? Train together. Make that your date night.
Yeah.
All you have to do is go to the backyard.
You know, instead of family movie night, family training night.
Just fucking give your kid to Piccolo for a bit, aka your actual dad. and just fucking, you know, spar. Mm-hmm. Go out and do some superheroing or some shit. Like, come on.
It's a way cheaper and more fun date night.
Yeah. Just fucking go blow some shit up with ki. So cool.
But yeah, I'm just from the 12 episodes, I'm really, really enjoying it. And I think it's cool too because it's a little easier now that we're watching this for our podcast because it feels like a long epic because we see Goku as a kid and it just goes on and on and on and we get to see all this, how he grows and like all the way through adulthood. I love kind of slow burn, like I love things like that. I like seeing how it all develops to like an end point. That's probably why I like them. If it makes sense, I don't know. But that's why I love MCU because it was all developing towards that. That's why I love the Legend of Heroes series because all the games are doing that. It's the hardest part is actually starting it because it's overwhelming and you don't know where to start. So I can't wait to see where this goes.
Yeah, which like I don't know. Even when One Piece finally ends, I don't think I'll ever be able to watch the whole goddamn thing. It is longer than Dragon Ball Z, and it started way after it. Fucking goddamn, dude. Like
Yeah, I don't think I'm ever getting around to One Piece.
Which sucks because it's fun. I like One Piece, especially Sanji. He's just a chef who beats the shit out of people with his feet because he can't risk hurting his hands because he needs those to cook.
Yeah, and again, like
And his name's Zoro. He's like a samurai, and an Lady. Nami's not shy.
And like I'm starting all this stuff now at this old age of 26. Like I only have so much time to catch up, and
You've only got 4 more years until you're a Japanese old maid.
Oh God.
And then your art style will change.
My art style will change.
Yeah, you'll grow even shorter.
I can't get married anymore. I'm just a spinster now.
Yeah.
God, I gotta get on that.
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm already knitting and crocheting. I'm just so on the way.
Well, I think that's it for us.
Alrighty, thank you for listening. We always appreciate it.
If you're listening on iTunes, make sure to drop us a review. Hopefully a 5-star one if you like it, or not. Yeah, fuck it.
You know
but
what?
If it's a 5-star one, that helps us with the algorithm, honestly.
Yeah.
So please do that. If you're watching on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, ding the dong, all that stuff. That also helps with the algorithm.
Follow on Spotify if that's where you're listening.
Yeah, just like engage with it somehow, because that does actually help spread it to other people, as well as, if you like it, spread it to other people in person, spread it to your parents, spread it to your friends, spread it to your children, spread it to your dog.
Spread it to the Twitterverse. We also have a Twitter, Out of the Ice Pod 1. Mm-hmm. So please.
Yeah, and through that, I think that account is also linking our 2 personal accounts, like it's following those, so you can also get to us.
Yeah, your Twitter handle for your personal Twitter handle is
Mutagenworks.
Mutagenworks, and I am Cat27, I believe. I have to double check that, but
oh man, you're gonna have to change that in 2 years.
Why? Again, I'm 27's my lucky number, and I'm terrified it's always appeared everywhere in my life, and I'm terrified for what's gonna happen to me when I'm 27. It's almost here. Some crazy shit's gonna go down, I swear.
Sephiroth! Maybe that's when we'll get to Cali.
Dude.
Oh, also, eventually we will start making a Patreon, so we'll announce that when we have it. Please support us on that if you like us, because we live in the Midwest and we hate it. And also, obviously, most of it is going to be to make other stuff, make this better, make other spin-off shows, maybe even add video, live streaming, all that stuff. Yeah. Because unfortunately, that equipment costs money, and we're not old money.
Yeah. But at least for right now, I'm hoping.
At least I don't think I'm related to the Gateses.
But for now, I'm hoping that we can be on a more consistent schedule now that A, we're in the same living space. 2, it'll just be so much easier getting this stuff put together. So hopefully we can continue to make consistent quality content for you to enjoy. And please tell us if you enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're happy to hear it. Yeah. Even if you don't like us and you just want to say, leave a comment that says, man, I can't see them, but I really want to punch both of your faces. You know what? I do too, man.
Yeah, give us some criticism.
Yeah.
But again, thank you for listening.
Tell us how garbage our opinions are.
I'm Kat.
I'm Scott. And we're Out of the Ice.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye. Hey, everyone. This is Scott here. I'm recording this while I'm editing the podcast. Just making sure everything sounds all right before it goes out to you guys. I think that this is going to be the start of kind of a side series for Out of the Ice, because I love Dragon Ball. Kat seems to really be liking Dragon Ball, so there's a little attack move, a signature of the show that I want to say with everybody. So if you're somewhere where you won't get looked at like you're crazy, feel free to say it out loud, or just, enjoy my amateur audio editing. Say it with me now.